apply.
100%. And I can make what a doctor makes. Time spent on the charts is time well spent.
Yeah.
Team Sham, FX Cartel.
Have a strategy, the algorithm, which is exclusive to
We
our
make
signal
Forex easy for you.
providers. And the blueprint strategy, it either gives you an entry or it doesn't. But if it gives you an entry, you got to bang that trade. And if it doesn't, you stay out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So you rather have not have a trade than have a losing trade.
Yeah.
FX Cartel is the leading provider of information and resource for Forex traders.
What I tell people and what I intake on it is that do what the market tells you to do. And this is just not, it's not just about taking the actual trade by
Yeah.
taking the buy and sell. You need to know
Why?
are you taking that buy,
Yeah.
why are you taking that sell.
Yeah.
I mean, people just think we sit just buy and sell.
No.
I mean,
We offers tools and advice to help traders take more informed decisions when entering the market through an objective view of the market.
90% of our country, they don't have the money. They would love to go
yes.
to university. They would love to go and study, but
Yeah.
they just don't have the means to.
Yeah.
So come over, guys. You can make good money with Forex trading.
Yeah.
Our mission is to be the industry leader provider of information and resources for Forex traders, providing an objective view of the markets.
No, you were talking about gambling. Like, I also say, like, you rather, if you want to gamble, go to the casino, right? If you want to make money, trade, right? But the thing is, the difference between gambling and trading is that one is a chance
Yeah.
and the other is technical.
So at FX Cartel, we have the blueprint strategy. And the blueprint strategy, it either gives you an entry or it doesn't. But if it gives you an entry, you got to bang that trade. And if it doesn't, you stay out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So you rather have not have a trade than have a losing trade.
Yeah,
Correct.
of course.
Yeah, so yeah, guys, we have to, and as Dibo was saying, why we're so successful with our signals is because we have a strategy, the algorithm, which is exclusive to our signal providers.
Yeah.
And that is what we use. The nice thing about strategy is that algorithm strategy is we do analysis on 1 hour. We can swing trade. It can also be done in a 15-minute intraday trading. And if you're a scalper, you
Yeah.
can scalp. You can do the analysis on 5 and 1 minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the strategy, and hence why we've got such a good success rate
Yeah.
in our setups.
Yeah, no, good. So, obviously we're talking about our strategy, but, we always like tell our clients, let's not system hop, So if a client is using a strategy, right? And let's forget about our algorithm strategy. Let's forget about our blueprint strategy. Let's just say a client is using a specific strategy, but they're not profitable. We're obviously asking them to move or telling them to move, right? But what if they are profitable, but they want to use our strategy? What would you tell that client?
So look, I don't recommend having too many strategies. I'm not a fan of system hopping
Yeah.
and being here. I truly believe that you should stick to one strategy, master it,
Yeah.
and familiarize yourself. Backtest that strategy.
Of course.
Backtesting is very important, and being loyal to that strategy will make you profitable.
Yeah.
It will give you consistency.
Definitely.
You tend to see, and I always say that time spent on the charts is time well spent.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Is time well spent. I sit on the charts every day. I also, in my quiet time on a Sunday, I go back and I look at what the strat. I even go back to the signals,
Yeah.
to the signals provided by the providers, uh, to see what setups they gave, why they gave that setup.
Yeah.
And we give reports.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
We give reports. You know that
Yeah,
we're strong on that. When we say transparency, we give a report.
Yeah.
We tell you that listen here, here's it. We video record our whole chat from the beginning of the month to the end of the month, and we share it with you.
Yeah.
You make the decision.
of course.
Yeah.
100%.
You know.
So Mo, it's trading indices is not easy, right? Because obviously, especially in the markets we're in. I mean, neither is gold. I think markets right now is quite crazy, right?
Yeah.
Because of the whole thing that's happening in USA
Yeah.
with Trump and whatever the case is. How do you navigate Nasdaq right now?
So, with the market being so volatile at times, what I tell people and what I intake on it is that do what the market tells you to do.
Yeah.
Don't change it,
Yeah.
right? So that's very important. So with the market being so volatile, there's a lot of manipulation in the market that happens throughout a daily basis.
Mhm.
So we obviously analyze the market, which obviously the data that kicks in at a specific time needs to match that analysis at that given time. If it does not match, the trade is invalid.
Yeah.
But there are days where we are in the trade and stop loss get hit.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's part of trading.
Yeah.
Gotta get used to it.
Yeah.
So it's very important that we actually digest that. It's very important to know that losses come as much
With
as
it, yeah.
profits.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
100%.
think people don't take it as a business. I treat it as
Oh, yeah.
as I
Yeah.
run my business.
Yeah.
And in a business, we know that business has certain expenses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Business, so I take it as a loss.
Mhm.
My loss in this thing, I paid an expense. And I know that, listen, if I've taken a loss, I stay out of the market.
Yeah.
definitely.
I don't revenge trade. I don't chase it. I don't see things, guys. I know you'll all see things in the market. We used to see things.
Yeah,
we used to see
We don't
things.
see them anymore.
I
Yeah.
mean,
We don't see them anymore. We stay out of the market.
yeah,
We come back tomorrow and we come back stronger.
100%.
We come back stronger. We learned from those
Yeah.
mistake, or we also go back to why did I take that loss?
Yeah.
What was the reason?
Yeah. So, obviously, again, Mo, he's NASDAQ, you gold. He's married to NASDAQ, you married to gold.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm a little bit in the middle there. Like,
Guys, let's. For me, I'm a gold trader,
yeah.
and I don't know. I'm a bit of a funny individual. I need to relate to something.
Yeah.
No, of course.
I'm not techno.
Yeah.
I'm not a techie. You know that.
Yeah.
I'm not a tech person.
Yeah.
So I relate to gold.
Mm.
I can relate. I know I
Yeah.
can hold, touch. I can feel it. I collect it. So it's easy for me. It's easier
Yeah.
for me to trade it.
Yeah.
To trade it. You're a US 30 trader.
Well, I was born in gold, right?
Right.
I was born in gold. So
Born in gold.
it's hard
Got it,
though. Like, something I love gold. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I love gold.
Right.
Right? I love gold, but I also love US 30. I love the fact that I'm able to also use fundamental to also look at where market is going. Similar to what Mo said.
Right.
I think when you're trading let me say indice, it's important to know your fundamentals,
100%.
right? With gold as well.
Yeah.
But I think with gold, there's more also like a lot of technical involved.
Yeah.
I think with the indice, fundamental is huge.
It's a huge impact.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, for example, if you're a Nasdaq trader, I mean, 100 companies in the Nasdaq. You need to know your top 10 companies in the Nasdaq.
Yeah.
What make the market move.
100%.
Yes, you also have news throughout the world that affects the market
Definitely.
on a daily.
Yeah.
You need to know all of this. I mean, this is just not. It's not just about taking the actual trade by
Yeah.
taking the buy and sell. You need to know
Why
you taking that buy,
Yeah.
why you taking that sell.
Yeah.
I mean, people just think we sit just buy and sell.
No.
I mean, there's actual work
Yeah.
that's behind the scenes.
And I think that's the difference. Very important. We're just taking a buy and sell.
Yeah.
We're not gambling.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Just taking a buy and sell.
Yeah.
That's gambling.
Yeah.
You know what I tell
You-
people? If you want to do that, go down to Spa, buy yourself a Hollywood voucher, and then you
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things that factor in
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
Yeah.
why we take that trade.
100%.
Yes, the strategy helps us
Yeah.
to get our direction and
Yeah.
that trade. But there's world impact.
Yeah.
News.
Yes.
These things affect these markets.
Oh,
We have to be well versed, daily with these things. And if these certain things all check out, because that's part of my checklist.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is part of my checklist.
Yeah, of course.
Listen to the news, make sure I've got my setup. It's all ticks the boxes.
Mhm.
And then I say, right, okay, I'm ready to take this trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, I say, fine, I'll walk away. I'll walk
Yeah.
away from it.
Oh,
I'll walk
100%.
away from it, wait for another setup, and then we go from there.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I mean, it's so important. Like, we're always teaching our students. And we also have to remind ourselves as well. But A+ setups and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not looking for
We
just
give
a
you
by
best
the
and
way.
nothing but-
Yes. No, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's so important. A+ setups, is
Yeah.
very, very important. We were talking about gambling. Like, also say, like, you rather, if you want to gamble, go to the casino, right? If you want to make money, trade, right? But the thing is, the difference between gambling and trading is that one is a chance
Yeah.
and the other is technical, right? And it's also a skill,
Yeah.
right? So important, like, to know what is your actual reason for trading. Are you pressing that button because you're thinking you're on the slots? You know what I mean? Are you pressing the buy button because you're thinking you're sitting on the slot? You know what I mean? You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because trust me.
Back in the days, the aunties used to rub the machine.
Yeah.
It's not getting it.
Yeah. No, this is the lucky one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the lucky one. Yeah. No, it's gonna pay out now. It's gonna pay out now. Yeah. Yeah, but look, I mean, it's so important to know the difference and also knowing that, hey, this is not gambling.
Of course.
You're not gambling here. You
No,
have
no,
to.
no.
Yeah.
It's definitely not. And that is why it's very important at Team Sham FX Cartel that the education is our main focus.
Yeah.
100%.
Education is our main focus at FX Cartel. And with that, you get the skill.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the difference.
Yeah. So, our education, now we're talking about education. It's one of the crucial things, right? It's like we always say doctors, lawyers, they go to school, I mean, for 7, 8 years, depending, if you're doing masters, whatever the case is. There's a lot of other
And there's
careers.
a big fee attached to it.
Yeah,
as well.
of course.
Yep.
The thing is, with trading, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? You need to go learn
Yeah.
before you can go and apply.
100%. And I can make what a doctor makes, if not more.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
I sit
So,
with 2 degrees.
Yeah.
But I don't service them.
Yeah.
I don't service in the industry.
Yeah.
With it.
yeah.
But I can still make the same money.
Yeah.
With the skill.
Yeah. Now, we're not saying now don't become a doctor.
No.
Or neither are we saying
No.
don't become a lawyer.
Definitely.
But
But I'm telling you, this is what it can. If you have the knowledge,
Yeah.
the education,
Of course.
it can afford you that.
Yes, of
And
course.
let me tell you, 90% of our country, they don't have the money. They would love to
yes.
go to university. They would love to go and study, but
Yeah.
they just don't have the means to.
Yeah.
So come over, guys. You can make good money with forex trading
Yeah.
if you apply it correctly
Yeah.
and get educated about it.
That's true.
Educate yourself. Educate yourself in terms of also brokers.
Yeah.
Um, then educate yourself with the actual
Yeah.
forex markets,
Mm.
and go out there and afford yourself financial freedom.
Yeah.
It comes
Like, you know, as
money
much as you
value.
said the word broker,
Mm,
it also boils down to, as much as we said earlier on, that it's so important to understand your mentor and have a special bond.
mm,
Same applies for your broker.
Yeah.
I mean, just don't get involved with any broker.
Yeah.
Know who your broker is.
Yeah.
100%.
Understand.
100%. And guys are opening brokers.
Yeah. Left, right, and
Couple of months down the line,
Correct.
Yeah.
they're gone.
Yeah.
Your monies are gone.
And your money's
Know
stuck
who
there.
you're investing in.
Yeah.
And people need to take it seriously.
Yeah.
This is our money, our hard-earned
Of
money
course.
that we're talking
Of
about.
course.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
You know, I still feel that they take it a little bit too lightly and they easily scammed and
Yeah.
easily pursued into joining a broker or joining a forex company.
Yeah.
And then it all blows up.
Yeah.
And then they've got a sour taste in their mouth. And then all forex companies, all brokers are labeled.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's so true.
So true.
You know,
So true.
we're all labeled.
Yeah.
Forex scammer.
Yeah.
Scammer.
Scammer. Yeah. No.
I mean, yes, you
part of
can't deny that they are scammers.
They
out
are
there.
scammers.
100%.
But you know what? Just don't jump.
Yeah.
Do your research.
Do your due diligence.
Yeah.
100%.
You know, it takes you 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Go and research.
Yeah.
Go and check.
Who
You know,
this person is.
Are you going to be in drawdown? Are you going to be owing this broker money?
Yeah.
You know, do they have a negative balance?
Yeah.
This thing, cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, are you with the a-book broker? Do they have good spreads?
Yeah.
Are they? Do you have fast execution?
Yeah.
You know, immediate withdrawals.
Yeah.
You know, whatever's going to suit you. And if it ticks the boxes, go with it.
Yeah.
course.
No, exactly.
You know.
Yeah,
Go with it.
but the same thing, right? Like who you choosing to now go trade with. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing. So as much as like, you know, the broker thing, it's also about who you're trading with as well.
Yes.
You know, and that's one thing we always pride ourselves in.
100%.
We always
can,
try.
You can pick the phone up at any given time.
Yeah.
You know, I get calls through the night.
Mm.
I don't know whether the public works. I mean, they probably do have shifts or something. But
Yeah.
after 12 o'clock,
Yeah.
you know, you get our strategy, we onto you almost immediately.
Yeah.
Don't know that we have a system in place.
Yeah.
You know, you're not still waiting 3-4 days.
Yeah. To
You,
get the
you,
stats.
you know, to
Yeah.
get a service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get a service or to get a reply.
Yeah.
Of course.
We almost immediately, we've got people in the right places that's there to assist you, to help you,
Yeah.
to open those accounts, to answer your questions.
Yeah.
And if all fails, pick the phone up, phone Devo, phone Mo, phone Sham. You know, our numbers are there.
Yeah.
We accessible.
Yeah.
We're not hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
We're not
exactly.
hidden. We have nothing to hide.
Nothing to hide.
Nothing.
Nothing to hide. Yeah, no, you know, so important. They you know, like there's just so many people that want to stay behind the green screen.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to be aware. Now we're not saying that they should come join us. But what we're saying is that just be careful. So important to educate yourself on those type of things.
100%.
Yeah. But
100%. 90% of all these groups and things that's out there, you can never get contact. These groups are all
Yeah.
blocked and locked.
yeah.
You know, you get into it, you don't know who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
It starts off small and then eventually the guy is going to then ask you for. I mean, the scammer tries to scam me, pretending.
You know,
it's
I know.
funny.
You know, it's
Getting a message from Sham.
Yeah.
You know, don't you want to invest? And invest today, and by the end of the week, I'll,
Yeah,
I'll
get so
give,
much.
give you so much.
yeah.
We don't do that.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
And you know the funny part is like the scammers would message me.
Yeah.
And the thing is like it's so clear. Like I'm part of
You part
I'm
of
part
the
of-
Cartel family.
now you try to come in and scam me. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, but you know, that's also another thing, you know, like we just need to be aware. You know? We need to be aware of who we're dealing with as well. As a client, from a client perspective.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? Yeah.
100%. I think it's a free enterprise.
No, definitely.
You know, clients' prerogative or this
Yeah.
is where they want to be,
Yeah.
where they're comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they need to acknowledge that and not just be easily pursued.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
of
know,
course.
there's a lot of BS
Yeah.
out
Yeah,
there,
yeah, 100%.
and people fall for the BS.
That's why it's so important as a new person that's looking to come up in the industry.
Yeah.
You know, do your research. Just don't jump the gun. Do your research.
100%.
Get
Yeah.
to know what you're looking into,
Yeah.
whether it's for you or not for you. You know?
Yeah, no, for sure. So yeah, it's an interesting one that with the scammers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
it is.
no,
It is. It's unfortunately, it's out of our control. We
yeah,
can't really do much about it.
Yeah, that's true.
The social media platforms also don't support us. Although
exactly.
we
Yeah,
report them and we block them and
yeah.
stuff. But just tomorrow, these accounts are opened up again,
Again,
or
yeah.
they have a new
That's
account.
So easy
Whether
as well.
they're doing it for followers
Mm.
or they're doing it for scamming purposes, it's wrong at the end of the
Either way,
day.
yeah.
I've sent numerous emails and messages and calls to say that, listen, yeah, there's a duplicate and this is not me, this is the actual account.
Yeah.
These accounts are still there.
Yeah, no,
These
definitely.
accounts are still there.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, it's the scammers will always be there, unfortunately. That's
I think
part
it's
of it as well.
important as well, guys, just take 2 minutes to acknowledge that the amount of viewers or followers that we have.
Yeah.
These new accounts obviously have a much
Lower, yeah.
lower following.
Yeah.
700s and 2000s, maybe 15Ks and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's one way. But also, most importantly, the numbers are there. It's accessible. It's available. Pick the phone up. Ask,
Call
request
them, yeah.
a video call. Make sure that you're dealing with the right
That's true.
people. I actually had one funny one actually, where they called a client and they had my picture and they showed. I promise you. And the client phoned me and said, Sham, we could actually see that they're trying books. They couldn't keep it
Stable,
enough.
yeah, yeah.
Stable enough, yeah. And
Uh,
it's funny.
Yeah. So Mo, how do you navigate around, the whole scammer issue? Are you experiencing it as well?
I did. I mean,
Yeah.
see, guys, as we say, there's so much we can do, reporting and stuff like that. But I mean, for clients as well, you gotta be smart enough to know who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, fair enough. Yes, you want to get access to stuff, but pick up the phone and message those numbers,
Yeah.
and you'll see for yourself.
Exactly.
I mean, just don't take the bait.
100%. 100%.
So it
Yeah.
also depends majority on the clients itself, because I mean, scammers we can only do much. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, but no, that's yeah, it's a crazy market. But so we touched on what you trade, what I trade. You know, is there something that you guys like dabbling into? Is there a market that intrigues you sometimes? Like I mentioned, like I've always been a gold trader, but now I've moved to US 30.
Yeah.
But I love dabbling into gold.
Yeah.
I love going back to gold and trading it. So is there something like that you go back to and say, I like trading this?
No.
For me, yeah, I think I would always look at BTC.
Yeah.
I see BTC in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, we also got to realize that the techno side and the crypto space is becoming so wide.
Yeah.
So these things are the future,
Mm.
So I always try to pinch my nose here and there on BTC. So yeah, but fully Nasdaq. I'm just a Nasdaq. I mean, I love Nasdaq
Yeah.
with a passion. I mean, I've been always trading for about 4 years now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Funny that you say BTC. I've actually had a very big trade on BTC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a big trade, 100K,
Yeah.
100K trade,
Yeah.
a profit.
Yeah.
I think it was 80 something, I had a good BTC trade.
Yeah.
But I just like gold. I'm not comfortable.
Yeah.
Time spent, I'll say,
Yeah.
I spend so much of time with gold.
Exactly.
That I'm not in my comfort zone
Yeah.
when I get onto another chart. Yes, I do analysis and I can do NAS and US 30,
Yeah.
setups for the guys.
Yeah.
But I will take the trade very on a very low risk.
yeah.
Just to be involved with it, with the
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
But I'm not that kind of guy. very loyal to my.
Yeah.
I'm the boom shaka.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm comfortable there.
Yeah.
Um, spend so much time on the charts that I can now foresee things. I know how it moves.
Yeah.
I know how it reacts.
Yeah.
100%.
You tend to see certain things. You
Of
tend to
course.
see a repeat
Yeah.
over and over. So yeah, that's why I say also stick to one pair.
Of course.
Stick to one pair. Familiarize yourself
Yeah.
with it. You'll tend to master the charts.
I mean, there's more to the chart, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, but US 30 is a G, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, when that thing,
Yeah. You know, the
I
thing
used
is,
to trade it.
yeah.
I,
I know you when you
yeah, yeah,
when you
yeah.
started off, you
When I
yeah.
started off, I started with US
Yeah.
30.
Yes.
Yeah.
I started.
So like with me, right? Like you know, I like dabbling into gold because again, it's like I grew up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, well,
I grew
I
up.
was your mentor, so.
Exactly. You know, so I grew up with gold. And but you know, US 30 is where I spend my time. I spend my time on US 30 and my chart is always opened on US 30. When I want to dabble into gold, I dabble into gold.
We tend to fight every now and then.
Yeah.
Because I might, the guy might throw a setup in my gold, in my gold group. Like, what you do in my gold group? Like, go back to your group.
Yeah. But look, again, the thing is like, and that's the advantage as well, right?
Yeah.
Is that we don't use different strategies.
Yeah.
We use one strategy. So it allows
And
you
it's trusted.
it's trusted. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously, you know, the strategy is another conversation. We already had that
Yeah, yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
But
For
yeah,
another
look,
time.
yeah, and I think it's important. Like I mean, as we said, you know, spending your time in one chart allows you to see certain things.
100%.
You know, like now, same thing with you, Mo. Like you get so familiar with that chart, how it reacts. Sometimes, like you looking at a blank chart, you know, you're looking at a blank chart and you're able to see certain things happening, and you're like, okay, here's an opportunity to trade.
Of course.
You know what I
You
mean?
start pulling that fib
Yeah,
with your
yeah.
eyes.
Yeah.
I'm telling
Yeah,
you, bro.
yeah. No, that's true, huh?
Yeah,
That's very true.
100%.
That's so true. Yeah,
100%.
yeah. No, your eye starts like
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
at that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, yeah. So, what type of trader are you, Mo? Are you a swing trader? Are you a scalper?
So basically, I'm a scalper, day-to-day basis,
Yeah,
on the techno side of it.
yeah.
So yeah,
Nice. And Sham, your side?
Also,
Scalper.
scalped.
Yeah,
I'll do the odd intraday.
yeah,
Intraday. Swinging is not my thing.
yeah.
Swinging is not my thing. I don't like swing trading. Intraday and scalping.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I mean, also a scalper.
Yep.
But I mean, you know, when we find our setup,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
so there's this, you know, we obviously have a strategy that's literally the only two of us know.
Yes. And
And
we let it run for days.
we let it run for days until we're like, okay, it's fine now.
We let it run. We're right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
It's you know what, and that's the only time I would say I would like day trade or whatever the case is.
Yeah,
like,
and the nice thing, it's fun. It's fun. It's boring as much as it's
Yeah.
boring, but it's fun.
Yeah.
You know? Entering with a small amount and
letting it grow.
letting it just go and
Yeah.
go and go and go.
Yeah.
And then after a couple of days, you know, it's like, okay, I had enough now.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think I think we've sat the most we've sat is like 2 days at it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
2.5 days.
Yeah,
almost 3 days, and then
100%.
we're like, okay,
Yeah.
now it's time. We're out.
Out.
We're out. Yeah. No, but cool. So Mo, if you could give advice to our listeners or viewers, what would it be?
So from me, it's number one, never be greedy. Be disciplined in the market. Have a target. Have a risk to reward.
Yeah.
Obviously, that now comes from, as I said again, finding yourself a mentor is very important. Education is the second part, and that's boiled down to psychology, and just stick to one part of it.
Yeah.
Don't jump systems,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
see a difference.
No, of
I
course.
mean, it's not an overnight process.
Exactly.
It does take a lot of time, so stick to one part, and you'll see a difference.
Sure. Sham?
Yeah, 100%. So you guys know I'm all about the education. I'm all for the educating. So I would say, guys, please educate yourself. Go and do research. Also, stick to one setup, one strategy. Don't system hop. Apply risk management. Yes, psychology is a big part of it.
Huge, yeah.
And if your psychology is not in the right place, and if you know you're at, this is my last, and I need to make this happen, it's not going to work for you.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. Don't chase it. You might get that luck,
Yeah.
but it's not going to repeat itself.
Yeah.
It's definitely not going to repeat itself. So yeah, educate yourself, stay true to your setup and your checklist, and yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I think, my advice would be, it's so important, firstly, your psychology. I think before anything, you mentioned in the beginning that psychology is 70%.
Yeah.
And what I always say, I think psychology is more, it's more 85% before strategy, before anything else, before education.
In the next episode of FX Cartel Podcast, coming soon.
Money, buy yourself a phone, and just carry on the journey. You know what I mean? That's not hard.
So freedom.
But you can't help people if they don't want to help. Now, everyone's mentality about Forex is scared.
Yeah,
You understand? Because they don't understand it, they don't want to know it.
yeah.
Now, you just show the people, look here, come sit by me one day. I made a 5 grand. Hey, I told the guy in December, 5 grand, 1.6 million he withdrew in February.